It's 104 days to the 2023 presidential election, and the candidates are traveling the length and breadth of the country to secure the support of Nigerians. Good afternoon and welcome to Standpoint. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Now, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is optimistic that the crisis rocking the party will be resolved soon. He disclosed this after his visit to former military head of state Ibrahim Babangida in Minna. Atiku is at loggerhead with Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State and 4 other PDP governors over their insistence that Senator Iyorchia Ayu, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, should vacate his position for a southerner to replace him. The PDP presidential candidate says he's open to negotiations with the governors. We'll talk this through by speaking via Zoom from Delta State is the Commissioner for Information, Charles Aniago. Thank you so much for joining us on Standpoint this afternoon.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon, viewer.
Right. A lot of Nigerians have been looking forward to seeing how the PDP will resolve the crisis because it's been lingering for a while now, and it looks like this is something that might or may not come to an end. Talk to us about the latest, because this is a presidential candidate who's talked about uniting the country. And a lot of Nigerians are asking, if you can't unite your party, how would you be able to unite Nigerians? So let's start from where your party is at in terms of resolving this crisis.
Well, I can assure you that we have made a whole lot of progress since the last time we spoke. You recall in the course of my interaction with Precious Amayo the last time I appeared on your station, I made it clear that the train have left the station, and that in the course of our movement, we are going to continue to stop at different train stations with a view to picking up passengers, both those who are a little hesitant at the moment and those who are also possibly going to see reason to join the PDP as a party that have got what it takes to recover Nigeria from where we are at the moment. And so what you are saying is also in line with what I told you then. We have also made it clear that, as the name of the party implies, People's Democratic Party, that it's about people, it's about individuals, just like it is in democracy, having plural views. And in such setting, you are going to have divergent views, you are going to have opposing views, you are also going to have views that is in accordance with the thinking of certain groups. And that what makes democracy tick is not even much of good governance, but it's about the fact that individuals are very, very free to ventilate both their grievances and, of course, express themselves freely in any democratic setting. That's the difference between democracy and other forms of government. And so what is at play in the PDP is that principle of democracy where plural view is well tolerated. So these other leaders of the party who have also contributed immensely to the growth of the party, somehow along the line, had what looked like a divergent view. And the principal at the moment, Atiku Abubakar, who is the leader of our party, being the presidential candidate of the party, do agree with a number of issues that I have raised. I've also made it clear that the only point of difference is the timeline, that in terms of asking the position of the chairman to move from the north to the south, that nobody is opposed to it. But what we're saying is that we need to do it at the right time so that we do not inflict injury on our desire to be able to reclaim the mandate which we lost in 2015 and bring back Nigeria to winning ways, because the last 7.5 years have been very, very excruciating for most Nigerians. And PDP being the only national party with a national spread across the 774 local government and indeed across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, is the only party that have got what it takes to be able to bring back Nigeria to winning ways. And so we don't have any challenge. We are happy that a number of other well-meaning Nigerians are coming in with a view to impress it upon our governors to see the need for us to move in one direction. We have also said that our desire to move in one direction is not for the purpose of just winning election. It is for the purpose of bringing back Nigeria together, because in the last 7.5 years, our diversity have received a very, very dirty blow. And the bruises are very, very visible across the length and breadth of this country because of the mismanagement of our diversity by the All Progressive Congress. About what we're going to do as a party that understands that in unity and in diversity, we're able to come together, just as it is in our old national anthem, which says that though tribe and tongue may differ, but in brotherhood we stand. The Atiku Okowa ticket is that ticket that is going to bring back that brotherhood. Where when you see a man from far Yobe, he will be able to look at his brother from Bayelsa as his fellow Nigerian, and not a question of saying that I am from Eda Fulani or that I'm from any other ethnic groups, or possibly to say that, yes, you are Ijo. And then in which case the ethnic groups will fall to the back, take the back seat, while Nigeria will occupy the top of the table. And that's what the Atiku Okowa ticket is going to bring back to this country. So
well, it remains to be seen how that is going to be realistic. But then the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, was actually touted to wading into these crises of the PDP. But then he said that the G5 governors are not working for him, that they are not doing his bidding, that he has no grudge with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Talk to us about this. What is the stance of former President Goodluck Jonathan? At the time when the APC primaries was on, it was as if he was going to contest until later on where we didn't see him contest. So where exactly is he on this matter?
If you are used to enjoying pounded yam, you will notice that as you approach the bowl, you will notice that the more you approach the pounded yam, the possibility of seeing some seed in that where pounded yam is possible. And so what that means is that as we make progress in our democratic joining, the individuals will begin to see the need to engage in certain form of alignment and realignment. At the beginning, just as it is now, there are individuals who will begin to look at the different options as to who are those coming on board. What is their possibility? How much reach do they have across the length and breadth of this country? We are made up of 36 states, created in the course of time after our independence. And these 36 states possibly is peopled by different ethnic groups that may have different persuasion in either political, religious, or otherwise. And so the previous leaders, inclusive of Jonathan, may have been able to sit back to look at those who are taking a shot at the #1 seat in the country. And then they are able to put them together. Whether we like it or not, there are 4 front runners at the moment. Talking about Atiku Abubakar, Asiwaju of Lagos, the Kwakwasu of Kano, and of course, our brother Peter Obi from the Southeast. Any sane Nigeria at the moment will now have to look at these individuals, look at them from who they are as persons, look at them from the parties they operate in, look at the ability to be able to unite Nigerians. The issues at stake for the president is not just one. A president should be able to somehow cut across the different regions. And so you must put so many things on the table because it's just like somebody who is going to be engaged in a 9-unit course. If he's very, very intelligent in one particular course, that course is not going to save him to be able to cross over. He needs to be able to have credit point in a number of those courses. That is what a president in the case of Nigeria should look like. So these former leaders may have been able to sit back, look at these different candidates, who is likely going to be able to go into exam that in this particular course, different course like we did when we wrote our WAEC, you have about 9 subjects, and then you have different points that is attached to these different subjects. And at the end of the day, if you are too good in English and you are bad in mathematics, you are not likely going to gain admission in any university. And so the leaders may have been able to look at the abilities of these 4 presidential candidates that are more like front runners as to who is that candidate that understands English, mathematics, biology, chemistry, and possibly physics, then mix it with a level, some elements of agriculture and geography, that is able to now have 6 credits in the 9 different subjects that can afford to take Nigeria out of the woods. Not a question of the one that could possibly score 100% in mathematics and score 0 in the other subjects. In taking a look at that, then they cannot begin to engage in some form of realignment. And I can assure you that in all this, Atiku Abubakar stands very, very tall, far above the other candidates. Because it's that candidate that has got a number of credit points in that exam. So that may have explained the position you are saying now with respect to former leaders who understand this country in and out.
That has not effectively answered the question as to where the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, stands, because we know that some time ago, or looking at the politics of things, he probably is not in good terms with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. And a lot of Nigerians are actually wondering, okay, fine, it could be an elder statesman, but then where does his sympathy lie? Does it lie with the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, or is it looking elsewhere? Being a former member, or being a member, last time we checked, a member of your party.
Now, let me first of all correct the impression you just created. Neither the former President Goodluck Jonathan nor the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar ever told you that they are not in talking terms. So when you say that they are not in good terms, I wouldn't know where you got that information from. Perhaps that is just within the imagination of those who may have speculated it before you, or possibly you just want to put it across. What I told you, it is not my making.
It's there in the media. It's there everywhere to read.
I said both of them, none of them, neither of them, except you have to read it for me to say where Atiku told you Jonathan is my enemy, or where Jonathan told you Atiku is my enemy. I want to see that. Now, what I said, in case you don't understand, is that individuals at the beginning may have been able to maintain certain positions. And as the race continues, they now begin to examine what are those possibilities of who can solve the many problems that confront us today as a country. The 4 front runners I mentioned to you are persons that are very well known to both former leaders and a host of other Nigerians today, including the youths. And so as we make progress, just like the analysis I gave you with the pandemic, you begin to see the need to engage in realignment. You said the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, may have shown some level of body language in a particular direction. And that now, what you are seeing is looking as if it's moving in another direction. That movement, if what you have said is true, is possibly because he have also gone in to be able to take some level of analysis of the situation we find ourselves, i.e., the very, very poor state of the economy, the very disturbing state of our unity, the very challenging state of our education, the very uncoordinated manner that our economy is being run at the moment, and of course, the issue of insecurity, which has become the bane of development across the length and breadth of this country. And so if anybody is engaged in realignment, or that those who are agreed and are seeing the need for them to come to the round table for the purpose of dialogue, it is possible that they have done all this. So there's nothing wrong. Whether the former vice president is now coming, former president, have now seen the need to move wholly with his former party. Don't forget, it was on the platform of the PDP that Goodluck Jonathan became a deputy governor. It was on the platform of the PDP that he became a governor. On the platform of the PDP, he became a vice president. On the platform of the PDP, he became an acting president. And to top it up, on the platform of the PDP, he became a president. The Goodluck Jonathan, I know, is not an ungrateful human being. He will want to also pay back his party and encourage those who are the founding fathers of the party. Of course, you know Atiku belongs to that class. So if you see Jonathan having to support a member of the party that brought him to limelight and took him to the zenith of administration in this country, it will not be out of place. In any case, right, that is what is expected. And to round it up on this particular aspect, it will be in the interest of every Nigerian to see that the PDP survives, because today the PDP is the GOP in Nigeria. That's the good old party, where if indeed we are in search of party ideology, we will need to take steps to ensure that parties survive, and not just that we continue to have new parties and at the end of the day, we continue to rise and fall, rise and fall. Let us begin to move in a direction that will not have parties that stand for the purpose of enduring right, ideology that will endure the course of time.
Mr. Niago, well, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, that's the candidate of your party, actually met with the former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, where he said that the crisis within the party will be resolved soon. Would you like to bring us up to the minute information or the update as regards this, the former head of state wading into this crisis? How far has it gone?
What that tells you is that everybody in the party, particularly the leadership of the party at the moment, is very much interested in having a united front. I've also made it clear in the course of this conversation that what we are doing is not just a case of having to unite members of the party just to win election. That Atiku is desirous of moving with all Nigerians, even those who are not within the party, because it's very, very clear on one of his agenda, and the 5-point agenda, which is to unify our country, that unity, lack of unity, has caused us a whole lot of problems in this country, including the economic challenges we have, including the security challenges that we have, including our inability to address many things that we needed to address. Because if we are that united and that this administration, the APC-led administration, have been able to bring us together, the appointment of individuals to strategic positions would have taken the color of the diversity that we have in this country. And so the meeting with former president, military president Ibrahim Babangida is still in line with that desire to bring all Nigerians together. Atiku have also said that when by the grace of God he wins and becomes the president of this country, that he's going to form a government of national unity. Perhaps I may need to take you back to 1999 when he and Obasanjo won the election. They brought in people from APP, they brought in people from AD. You recall Bola Ige of blessed memory, and a host of other persons who were in the other political parties. They brought them on board for the purpose of having a Nigerian government and not a sectional government. So the meeting that you are seeing is in furtherance of the desire of the stoppage of our train that have left the station to begin to pick up passengers as we make progress. And that's what you saw in that meeting with the former military president.
One would wonder how far-reaching, this meeting would definitely, yield, because the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, is insistent on the fact that we can't have a president from the north and still have a chairman of your party from the north. So they are insisting, the G5 governors are actually insisting that Senator Iyorchia must definitely, throw in the towel, but saying that he is no longer the chairman. So do you think they will backtrack on this demand?
I hope they didn't come out of this in the last 1 week, because we came the fact that I'm not closed windows of reconciliation. If we said that they are very open to discussing, referring us to whether they are insistent on certain things might not be the latest. And so in the need of national to action capacity, but what I'm saying, the position issue to one that will be so that that is ahead of the license to maybe is not true. We don't have in the only the saying that the committee of T1 of this national work from none of them. So that's it. If I accept they don't find the political one we have, it is very bad. The views democratic saying we are pets. Those who are in party because two candidates declare one the who will say if I
Mr. Nyago, I'm afraid we're having a network glitch. We really can't hear the most part of your submissions as regards the last question that I asked. Talking about Senator Iyorchia being requested to throw in the towel by resigning his position as the chairman of your party. But I'm afraid the network situation is not really helping matters. Let me try to confirm again whether you can hear me. Try to say something to see whether we have the network back. I'm afraid we have a connectivity issue with the Jonathan from Delta State, the Commissioner for Information, Charles Aniago, and also the spokesman for Atiku Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you very kindly. We'll say thank you. Your most part of your point is actually made. We'll see how we can do that in the nearest future. Do stay with us here on Standpoint. We'll take a break and be back with more. Thanks for staying with us here on Standpoint on TVC News. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, was recently in Benin, where he was welcomed by a mammoth crowd. He was there to canvass for the support of the Edo people. The party says it's indication of Peter Obi's acceptability across the country. Joining me via Zoom is the official spokesperson of the Labour Party, Indi Kato. Thank you so much for joining us on Standpoint.
Thank you for having me.
Let me start by asking you about your feelings, your general mood as regards your outing yesterday in Benin City. It does appear that apart from the noise generated on Twitter and the opposition parties throwing a jibe at you, that your party is only existent on the social media, but then we can see so many of your outings where people are coming out to welcome and also campaign alongside your presidential candidate, that's Mr. Peter Obi. Talk to us about the mood of this in the Labour Party.
Oh, it was an exciting mood. It showed that people were really, really willing to put their all in all. I mean, right from the airport all the way to, he visited 3 senatorial zones yesterday, and people were willing to trek through all of that. It was such an exciting mood. People were happy. People were willing to show that, look, you know what, This is not a presidential campaign where you have to mobilize. So you know what it means when people have to mobilize people to come out. This is a presidential campaign where we are willing to put in our energy, our everything. I keep saying this with respect to the presidential campaign. Look, emotional investment is what you need. I've said this before Peter Obi ran for office, and I'll continue to say this. If you do not have the emotional investment of people, there's really no point. Peter Obi has that. People were emotionally invested. People have put all of their energy into this. And yesterday in Benin, it was a testament to that. People came out, venues were denied of the Labour Party candidates. You know, it was so difficult to book a venue, and people who were empowered could do what they could do. But people showed that, you know what, wherever it is, if it is the street, we are going to fill the street. If it's the bush, we're going to fill the bush. Wherever it is you're going to go, we're going to come out and show that we're for this candidate. And to Benin, to be honest, we're not going to take this for granted. We're very, very grateful. It showed the mood of the Peter Obi campaign. It was a cement. It was a cement to show that this is what the obedient movement is. This is what is happening. And I know that right now in all of the candidates meeting rooms and all of that, they are having these meetings. They know that something different is upon them. I have been saying this all of my appearances, that something different is happening, and I want the media to take note. And I like the way the question came, because it appears that the media has taken note. This is something different. It's not easy to get this kind of traction for nothing, apart from, you know, the trust, the transaction that is trust, that people actually trust that Peter Obi is going to deliver. From his antecedents, Peter Obi is going to deliver, from what he has done before and what he has said he's going to do, and his understanding of the issues. That is what is making people come out. And so at the end of the day, the other candidates have work to do, because they know that people come out for free for this man, and for them, they really, really need to do a lot to get people to come out. But this is a cementing of the reality and what we have been saying about the Peter Obi movement. This is an organic movement. Nigerians have put their foot forward. They have said that there's no voter apathy in this election. This is an election where they are going to show how much they are putting in of their own personal energy, their own personal resources, and this election matters to them. And I hope that everybody is taking note.
Well, we'll talk about some of the antecedents of your presidential candidate. But then this is someone who has been moving about, talking to Nigerians that he will move Nigeria from the level of consumption to production, etc., etc. But then he was also asked about his manifesto, that you can't say you want to turn things around for Nigerians without having a manifesto where we can lay our hands on and also study so that we can hold you accountable. But then he said that everything I'm saying with my mouth now is what you should consider as my manifesto. And some are saying, how serious is a presidential candidate in this regard?
I think that more than anyone else, Peter Obi has made these elections about the issues. That if you were talking about another candidate, many other candidates, the other candidates, you would have people talking about, oh, it's my turn. You have some other candidates saying, oh, you know what, my region brings the highest votes to the table, and if I run, my region is going to vote for me. But this is one candidate that has told you explicitly, do not vote for me because of where I come from. Vote for me because of the issues. And he has made this election about the issues. I've said this over again, and I'll bring it back to this table, that if Peter Obi was not running, right now we'll be talking about who is the most healthy candidate, who can run from one end of the stadium to the other. But Peter Obi has made these elections about the issues. So with respect to the manifesto is still in the works. And I will tell you this, the manifesto is still in the works because Labour Party and the intellectuals involved in the manifesto, as well as the Peter Obi campaign, do not think a manifesto is who is the first to bring a manifesto.
Mrs. Indy Kato, it looks like your frame is frozen.
Can you hear me?
Right, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, carry on. We have you back.
So I was saying that with respect to the manifesto, we have intellectuals working on this manifesto, right? And with respect to the Labour Party and the Peter Obi campaign, they're not saying that a manifesto is who brings a manifesto first to the table. They are saying that, look, our manifesto in the Labour Party and the Obidati campaign is a social contract with the Nigerian people. And many of the problems we face with Nigeria right now is the fact that there is no social contract between the ruling elite and the Nigerian people. So this is a social contract, and a social contract cannot be produced in a day. It can't be. They are working on a social contract, and this social contract is going to be produced, and people are going to see that a lot of effort is being put into this document.
Let me quickly quickly
to represent the yearns of the Nigerian people. So please, it is not an absence of a document. Let me correct that clearly. It's not an absence of a document. It's that, look, a document is in the works, and this document has to be complete in representing the needs and aspirations of the Nigerian people.
Let me jump in. Nigeria's problem is age-long, has been also said by a candidate in all of his outings, saying that this campaign is based on issues, and these are the issues, looking at insecurity, looking at economy, etc., etc. But then if someone has, because these are the questions Nigerians are asking, those who are monitoring events, as they are unfolding, how they're monitoring, and these are the questions they're asking, that you can't say you want to solve an age-long problem. It means that you must have been following the problems. You must have been working out how to solve these, bring solutions to these identifiable problems. Why is it that you're running for president and you've not been able to produce a document, just like you're saying that the document is not exactly what we should see, but then basically based on what it says? So Nigerians are saying it doesn't appear that he's really, really ready for the task, because he has been nursing this ambition, or it just came out from somewhere and say, I want to run for president.
No, I do not think that Nigerians are saying that. I think that more than any other candidate, this is the candidate that has brought the issues to the table. Now, a document is something that brings all of these issues in one official document, right? Everything you're going to see, you're saying you're going to do, from security to education to health to all of that, I'm going to bring it to one document. And the issue here is this man has been talking about all of these things. He has been saying, this is what I'm going to do here. This is what I'm going to do here with respect to insecurity. You know what? I'm going to restructure the Nigerian police. I'm going to make sure that there's state policing. I'm going to do more for weapons and for infrastructure, for personal well-being for the Nigerian army and on every other uniformed person that is in charge of taking care of the Nigerian state. He has said with respect to health, with respect to its antecedents too, there's going to be a lot of renovations. There's going to be looking at the living conditions of our Nigerian doctors, looking at the conditions of our hospitals, and renovating this place, creating more primary healthcare centers. He has talked a lot about what he's going to do. His antecedents show what he's going to do. Now, this document is everything you have said, Peter Obi. Put it in one place and present it to us so that it can be official. That is what the document is. But with respect to bringing these things to the table, every single time Peter Obi has brought this to the table. If Peter Obi was not in these elections, we will not have been talking about the issues as much as we are talking about today. And I'm saying that because of how seriously the Labour Party takes a document, takes a manifesto, we are taking extra time to create one. It is not that we are clueless. No, that should not be the conversation at all. The conversation is that these people take us so seriously that they are not making a manifesto a competition. A manifesto is not a competition. A manifesto is how can we bring the aspiration, the needs of the people into one place? And when you are looking at that, it's not a day. It does not take a day to produce this. It does not take 2 days. You're looking at, you know what? This election is going to happen in February. And before February, we are going to make sure that we have a document that is all-encompassing, that represents a document that represents the social contract between the ruling elite, between the people who are in government and the Nigerian people. And this is very important. So I want us to change this language. It is not cluelessness at all. It is not. Cluelessness is that you do not have something at all and you're not bringing anything to the table.
Right.
But when you take the Nigerian people so seriously that you're not just going to bring any document to the table, you're going to take time to ensure that the right document, the right contract is signed between you and the Nigerian people. I think we should represent, we should recognize that. We should not say that a manifesto is first to bring manifesto. That is wrong.
Right. Before we change tack,
the manifesto.
Before we change tack, election is just about 104 days, to the general election rather.
Yes, please.
It would be good for Nigerians to be able to have a deep perusal of these manifestos. Fine, your candidate does say a lot of things as regards what he will do when he's
a lot of things
president.
are the issues. I would like to interject.
A lot of things relating to issues affecting Nigeria. Maybe I should put it that way.
Yes, please.
So some economists, those who are also analyzing the promises from different candidates, because that is what Nigeria has always, that's what has always affected a lot of issues which we have in Nigeria. We should be able to have a deep perusal and making comparisons as regards what you promised us, what this candidate promised us. So how soon would you say your manifesto as a document will be provided or will be released?
Before December, the Labour Party would have their manifesto out. Before December, the Labour Party will have their manifesto out. But again, I want us to come back to the reality is that this is the first election where we are really debating the issues. And that is because Peter Obi entered this election debating the issues. So I want us to look at this manifesto issue, right? This man has brought the issue to the table every single time. And all of these are also the manifesto. If you can hold, I remember in 2015, so many promises were made, but at the end of the day, when people were like, look, we're holding you to these promises, one of the things we heard was that, it was not the presidential candidate that said these promises, but other people said these promises. Right now, we are looking at a presidential candidate putting this himself. And he's not just saying, I'm going to give you roads. He's telling you how. He's not telling you, oh, I'm going to build better healthcare centers. He's telling you how. And he's also showing you the practical ways in which he has done this in the past. And I think that should be respected. I think that should be respected. That, look, this man has broken these things down. That, look, at the end of the day, when this manifesto comes out, what is going to happen is you are going to be revising what Peter Obi has said in the past.
Okay, because of our time,
what he has said in multiple pages.
I think you've tried enough to do justice to the issue of manifesto or the theme. But so how would you quickly react to because you've been mentioning Peter Obi's track record? Fine, but then the incumbent governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, said that referring to the alleged investment of Peter Obi in Anambra State, that the candidate of the Labour Party in Anambra State government is worth next to nothing. How would you react to this?
Well, between Peter Obi and Chukwuma Soludo is one governor, and we're not going to pretend that person does not exist. Between Peter Obi and Chukwuma Soludo is also the terrible policies of the APC, and I want us to recognize that. That look, if you had investment, and many investors, this just speaks to what has been happening in the nation. Many investors have fled Nigeria, right? Things have not gone right in terms of policies to encourage investment in Nigeria, and those who can run have run. So we're looking at, on the one hand, the fact that many investments that were made in Nigeria pre-2015, post-2015, what has happened with this government is that people have taken their investment, people who can take their investment elsewhere have simply answered by taking their investment elsewhere because Nigeria has no longer been conducive for investment. So why are we not looking at that angle when it comes to Peter Obi? That this man has put concrete things on ground, but when there are no favorable conditions for what he has put on ground to fester, what is going to happen is, number one, they will dry out. And number two is, between Peter Obi and Chukwuma Soludo is another governor. That Peter Obi actually left things. And let us also point out, there are videos, the internet is a testament to this, mainstream media is a testament to this, that Charles Chukwuma Soludo had gone on TV to actually speak about these things. He had pointed out individually, he was not talking like in prose, no, he was saying practically, this and that were the things that Peter Obi has done in Anambra State. He pointed it out. These were the things he rode on to win elections. That, look, Peter Obi has done this. Peter Obi has done that, and I'm running on the same platform that he used when he wanted to run elections. Please judge me according to the antecedent of Peter Obi. It's very easy. When you want to run on the antecedent of Peter Obi, it's very easy because he has done so much. Yeah. When you want to defend Peter Obi like I'm doing, it's very easy because this is a person with a clear mandate, with clear antecedent that this is a person that has performed. So when you are now talking now, you cannot talk and not draw that straight line from what Peter Obi kept in Anambra, what Nigerians have kept in Nigeria, what foreign investors have kept in Nigeria, and what that has amounted to. So the fact that bad policies have ruined investments in Nigeria is not Peter Obi's fault. We have to look back at General Muhammadu Buhari's policies. It's not Peter Obi. Peter Obi kept for Anambra State. He built for Anambra State. He kept things that Anambra people would look at and say, you know what, I'm proud that I'm from this state. I'm looking at it, my state is growing.
Okay.
Unfortunately, on what he has built, policies from this government, from the APC government, has come and has ruined these things, and it's not Peter Obi's fault at all.
I can agree with you that there's a lot that we actually need to talk about. But then, as the campaign, as the election actually draws nearer, we'll definitely talk about these issues as they continue to unfold. Official spokesperson of Labour Party, Indi Kato, thank you so much for your insight and your time.
Thank you.
Stay with us here on Standpoint. We'll take a break and we still have more guests to talk to as regards Nigerian issues. Stay with us. We'll be back. Thanks for staying with us here on Standpoint. We're trying to speak with a member, PCC Tinubu Shetima campaign, former member of the House of Representatives, Ekiti State, Honorable Bamidele Faparusi. Thank you so much for joining us on Standpoint. Because of our time, I'm going to have to rush my questions. 2023 general election is actually here, and we know that campaign has actually hit the ground, and all the candidates of various parties have hit the ground running. How well positioned is your party ahead of these elections?
Thank you very much. I mean, it's a matter of fact that APC is the only party in the field at the moment. We are the only party that is organized to deliver on this election. I've been listening to your other guest, and I want to assure you that with what is on ground, we are good to go. We are the only party that has presented its manifesto to Nigeria, an 80-page manifesto tagged Renewed Hope 2023. I mean, we are set for this job. We are prepared for this job. Our candidate is ready and prepared to take over the mantle of leadership of Nigeria. So it's not just about rhetorics. It's not about propaganda or noise making. It's about the issues, just as other people have been saying. What are the issues? The issues mainly now is about security and economy. And our candidate has rolled out his strategic plan to address most of these challenges. A country is not built in a day. It's a work in progress. And our candidate has identified the gaps and loopholes that is mitigating against all these the issues on security and on economy. And our manifesto has split out what will be done immediately. Ashwaju and Shetima take over the mantle of leadership of Nigeria. So we are ready. The campaign is going on. The PCC has been inaugurated across the countries, and for example, I'm in the Contact and Mobilization Committee. We're already working around the clock to ensure that we deliver on this election for our candidate.
Right, it's good that you mentioned
Nigeria should be rest assured that we are winning this election landslide.
Right, it's good that you mentioned the issue of economy and insecurity. Currently, we know that the Naira is not really doing so well against the dollar, though recently we've got that the Naira crashed and then it's rebounding again with the dollar. So in terms of economy and insecurity, Nigeria is not all that safe. We heard about the issue of attack happening here in the southwest, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, just a few days ago. Do you think Nigerians are really looking forward to your party retaining power despite all of these challenges?
You see, the problem, the administration of Muhammadu Buhari inherited this problem. So it is a national problem. It is not just peculiar to APC. Yes, for 8 years, this administration of Muhammadu Buhari has invested so much in the ministry that has led us to where we are today. If, say, we are not conscious or we are not appreciative of, we don't call it success because we still have pocket of this crisis. If we had had the administration that we took over from, maybe half of this country will have gone. maybe ISIS will have taken over the other part of Nigeria. So a lot of investment has gone into the ministry. A lot of progress has been made, though we are not where we're supposed to be, though the ugly head of insecurity kept arising, day by day. So, but it is a work in progress, and I can assure us that the coming administration has identified some of the loopholes that will be blocked to have an improved security. When you are talking about manifesto is about identifying the problems. You cannot solve a problem if you have not identified the cause of those problems and what the administration before you has been doing to fight this insecurity. So our candidate has taken time with his team to look at what are the issues, where are the constraints, where are the problems that this administration is facing that is not allowing this problem to go or to be completely defeated. This is going to be completely defeated. So I can assure Nigerians that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a trusted strategist who will bring his wealth of experience to bear to address the issue of insecurity and the economy as it's situated today. It is not hopeless. Most of the problems with the economy are human. As a country, most of these problems are caused by ourselves. People sabotaging the economy, people sabotaging government policies. So all we need to do to continue to fight this enemy of the nation, we have a lot of enemy of the nation among of us. They are big men, they are bankers, they are industrialists, they are enemy of the country. They sabotage government policies to make more money for themselves. So we are having a candidate who has identified some of these gaps and loopholes.
Yeah.
Who has political will to block most of these gaps and loopholes, to have a better economy and a better security when it comes in 2023.
Right.
It is about the political will. Does the candidate we are talking about, does he have the political will? Has he done it before? In Lagos, when he was governor, he set up security trust fund to ensure that Lagosians are secured. And we have a secured Lagos.
Right.
Within a short of four years thereabout, we have a
Honorable.
secured Lagos. So another thing we must also concern about is that
Honorable,
we must
I'm
also
afraid we're
raise
out of
is that
time.
hello?
Yeah, I'm afraid we're out of time. I wish we could take you up on some of these issues that you've actually raised alongside your presidential candidate. But then we know that it's an ongoing conversation. We'll definitely always create time to talk about and X-ray what your party has at stake ahead of the 2023 general election. Member PCC Tinubu Shettima campaign, former member House of Representatives Ekiti State, Honorable Bamidele Faparusi. We'll definitely have time to talk about this again. But then I must say thank you for the little time you spent with us. Thank you very kindly. Thank you. And that's all we have for you on Standpoints this time. We'll definitely always be here to talk about issues that are unfolding in Nigeria and how it affects you and how we can also find solutions to them, talking to some of the people that make this decisions in Nigeria. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Bye-bye now. Thanks for your company.